Let's get to the main event of the evening. We have Mr. Anderson versus James Storm versus Bobby Roode versus Bobby Lashley. Battle of the Bobbies. This was I thought this was actually a really good match. The winner would end up facing the King of the Mountain champion. I think next week, I think it is when they end up facing the King of the Mountain champion. But all members battled kind of outside of the ring to start out this match. It was kind of interesting because, usually two go out, two stay in, but this time all of them went outside. Suplex on the ramp by Roode on Lashley. Anderson spitting beer in Storm's face. Lashley and Anderson start to work together. The commentators actually mentioned that how come Storm and Roode didn't work together first, which I thought was very interesting, and shortly they would. But Anderson goes for the mic check off of the handshake with Lashley, but that ends up in a standoff. You kind of get to see the chemistry between Storm and Roode here. They're kind of beer money chemistry. They've battled so many times before chemistry, and it was pretty nice to see. We got a nice flying neck breaker by Roode for 2. Lashley taking out Anderson and Storm. The Tower of Power or Tower of Doom. Josh Matthews calls it the Tower of Power. Gives Roode the advantage. Anderson goes for the Swanton, but he landed really weird on his neck. It felt like he kind of didn't land on his back. He landed more on his neck as he missed it. Explosive clothesline to Roode by Lashley. We get the Roode bomb reversed. Storm hits the lung blower on Roode. Power slam to Storm. Neck breaker on Lashley for 2. And then we get the mic check on Roode for 2. Storm gets taken out with the rolling senton by Anderson. Lashley hits the spear on Anderson. Super kick off of Lashley's spear attempt as he tries to go after James Storm. Double suplex. Beer Money taunt, which was pretty cool to see. The fans were really hoping Beer Money would reunite in this match. Storm tries to go for the super kick, but it's reversed into the Roode bomb for the win. So Bobby Roode ends up winning this. I think this is interesting too, because if you think about it, Roode has kind of been on edge about not being booked, and he was the one that won this match, which was kind of interesting. So that kind of leaves the door open a little bit more, I feel like, because he won. He's been in the background, kind of in this storyline too. So I'm wondering if maybe he's going to end up turning, like maybe he'll end up like laying down for PJ Black or something next week, or end up winning and still joining GFW or something. I don't know. Any thoughts on the main event, or match main event?
I didn't like this initially. I just, none of these guys really jumped out at me as, they would have a really good match with PJ Black, except maybe Anderson or Roode, possibly, but none of them really jumped out like, oh, they would have a really good match with PJ Black. The beer money taunt kind of confused me, just in the character-wise, because, both of them are heels, and, why would they randomly all of a sudden, oh, let's be buddy-buddy, and let's do the beer money thing again out of nowhere? It just didn't make sense to me logically. It was cool for the fans to see that again, but it didn't make sense in the match and in storylines-wise, It wasn't like it was a friendly, match or whatever. They any other time they kind of hate each other now, so that just kind of confused me. But it does make sense a little bit that Bobby Roode won. He has been kind of wanting to, he hasn't been picked for matches in a while, and he's kind of been complaining in the back. So it would be cool to see what happens, whether he wins and then joins GFW, or what's going on with that. Maybe PJ Black lays down for him, and they do something like that. But it's gonna be exciting either way. I feel like they'll have a pretty good match, as long as they don't do something stupid, because TNA does that a lot. They do stupid stuff. Stupid. But anyway, it wasn't a bad match, this match, but it confused me in the beginning. I was like, why?
Yep, it did. It was kind of confusing, but it feels like for a lot of these number one contenders matches and just matches in general, they've been kind of throwing people together. They don't have. I don't know if they have that top five anymore, but that would make more logical sense. You know, if they use people from the top five or something. But I don't even know if they have that anymore because they don't have that show on Destination America. So next we have Brooke, Gale, and Velvet on the cover of the Knockouts calendar, which is kind of interesting. I mean, I'm not gonna buy it, but congrats to them, I guess. EC3 interview. He talks to Matt Hardy. Says, "When I beat you, you are beaten." And Jeff, welcome to the world of EC3. So just addressing that, basically Matt Hardy did his thing and Jeff accepted and whatnot. They're gonna have a match next week for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So any thoughts on Brooke and Gale and the calendar and EC3 and his whatever stuff they're doing?
No, no.
Okay. All right. Quick and easy. All right. So next we get the Dixie Carter decision. It was weird because Dixie Carter came out with new music, which was kind of cool. Because before it was kind of her heel music anyway. The little, her music from before was pretty much her heel music. So I'm kind of glad they changed it. It was more subtle. It felt like Galloway. They kind of discussed a little bit her and Jeff Jarrett, and then Galloway comes out before the decision can be made. Galloway says, "I found something in the security footage. You can't see a face, you can't see who it is, but you do see a getaway car. And it was two separate rental cars, and there was one name on both the rental cars." And he says the name was Jarrett, and he looks at Jeff, and he kind of talks to him a little bit, just why'd you do it, whatnot. Jeff Jarrett calls him a long drink of Scotland water, and I was like, can you repeat that for me? I don't know what that is. Can you repeat that for me one more time? I don't know. I don't know what that is. But we're trying to figure out. Well, he was like, who was it? He asked Jeff, if it wasn't you, then who was it? As Jeff swears on his life, his family, his kids, me, the floor, everything. He says, it was me. We hear from the background. At first, I thought it was Dixie Carter because didn't I didn't see anybody else. So at first I was like, Dixie? But then it ended up being Karen Jarrett. She says she did this for Jeff Jarrett, his family, and GFW. She says one little spark can cause a giant inferno. As Jarrett low blows Drew Galloway, GFW attacks Galloway. Spud tries to come out all taped up and stuff, but he's attacked, and GFW ends up standing tall at the end of the show. So this is kind of the start of our invasion that we thought we were gonna get. I felt like I like this. I like that this whole turn and this whole start of this officially. But my only thing is I felt like it took a little bit too long for the low blow to happen. I felt like as soon as she said one little spark starts a giant inferno, I felt like Jeff Jarrett should have low blowed him right then. Because it just would have. I felt like it would have connected a little bit more. Any thoughts though on this final segment of the night?
Um, yeah. When it came out that it was Karen, I was immediately let down just because it was like, oh, like I don't know, she just doesn't do anything ever. So it's like, oh, okay, what? You're not even a wrestler. You're not a part of your. It let me down for some reason. But when Jeff finally turned, I was happy. It made it feel better. He did kind of do the low blow a little bit late. I was kind of confused, but the one thing I really don't like is GFW guys come out and they attack, and then I thought the Wolves came out too. But Robbie E comes out, Spud comes out to try to help. They take them out quick, and then I was like, okay, TNA has more stars and wrestlers that could come out to help TNA, on behalf of TNA, but nobody else comes out. Like, even when WWE had the invasion with ECW and WCW, the whole roster would come out to help WWE. Where's the rest of TNA? Just get out of here. Get out of here. It's just confusing. Where's the rest to come out to help TNA? But see what they're gonna do with this kind of invasion storyline.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was like, I kind of felt the same way because it feels like so we have GFW having like 5 of their people come on, or I don't know how many it is, like 7 or 8 or something like that, and then we have this set like number for TNA. No one else ever can get involved. I just thought that it's interesting, like that. I don't know why they're making it so closed in. It feels so like half-hearted a little bit. But yeah, there we go. That was the TNA Impact Wrestling review for 8/26/2015. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a pretty decent show. Felt like some of the matches were a little bit lackluster. I don't know what they're doing with Chris Melendez's leg. I don't understand. I don't want a prosthetic leg, so I don't know why EY wants one. Interested to see how this is gonna. Oh yeah, yeah. He must have played that game when he was a kid. That's where he got that from. Big Game Hunter. He used to play that game when he was a kid. Interested in EC3 versus Matt Hardy next week. I'm really interested because BFG is in Charlotte, so I feel like as much as I don't want this to happen, I feel like one of the Hardys is going to end up winning going into Charlotte or something like that because it is their hometown. So, and they're playing a big role in the world title picture. So I feel like at some point that's what's going to end it. I'm interested. I want to see where this GFW thing goes because I'm not sure if it lasts through Bound for Glory or not. So, but if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because it's easy. It's easy. It's one click. It's one click, and you can close your eyes for the rest of the time. You can leave us a like so we know that you like the video or the podcast, whatever we're calling it. Because we're always an instant classic, so you gotta love us, right? You gotta love us. We're here for you. We're here for you. We got some stuff coming up. We got some football stuff coming up. Fantasy football stuff coming up too. So follow us on the Twitter, ICWP_podcast. If you can't see it, we will see you guys later. KC, any final thoughts?